First contact. The vastness of space stretched out before Captain Zara Chen as she guided her small exploration vessel through the asteroid field. The ship's sensors beeped softly, scanning for any signs of valuable minerals or interesting anomalies. It was routine work, but Zara never tired of it. Each new rock, each unexplored corner of space held the promise of discovery. Zara had been alone on this mission for months now, scouting the outer reaches of human-controlled space for resources and potential colony sites. It was solitary work, but she preferred it that way. Out here, among the stars, she felt truly alive. A sudden alert from her ship's computer snapped her out of her reverie. Unidentified energy signature detected, the artificial voice announced. Source: nearby planetoid designation PX2187. Zara's heart raced with excitement. This was exactly the kind of anomaly she'd been hoping to find. Computer, set course for PX2187 and prepare for atmospheric entry. As her ship approached the small, rocky world, Zara could see that it was barely habitable. A thin atmosphere surrounded the planet, and patches of hardy vegetation dotted its rugged surface. But it was the glowing crash site that caught her attention. The ship touched down a safe distance from the wreckage. Zara donned her exosuit, checked her oxygen levels, and stepped out onto the alien world. The gravity was lighter than Earth standard, and she had to consciously adjust her movements to avoid bounding too high with each step. As she approached the crash site, her suit's sensors began picking up faint life signs. Zara's pulse quickened. Could there be a survivor? The alien craft was unlike anything she'd ever seen. Its sleek, organic curves seemed to flow like liquid metal, even in its damaged state. Zara marveled at the advanced technology before her. Humanity had achieved interstellar travel, but this ship was clearly far beyond their current capabilities. A faint sound caught her attention, a weak, rhythmic tapping coming from within the wreckage. Zara carefully made her way closer, using her suit's enhanced strength to push aside a piece of twisted metal. And there, trapped beneath the debris, was an alien. The creature was humanoid, but clearly not human. Its skin shimmered with an iridescent quality, shifting colors like the surface of a soap bubble. Large, almond-shaped eyes blinked up at Zara, filled with a mix of fear and hope. Zara's training kicked in. "I'm here to help," she said, knowing the alien probably couldn't understand her words, but hoping her tone would convey her intentions. She began carefully removing the debris pinning the creature down. As she worked, the alien made soft chirping sounds, watching her intently. Zara's xenobiology training was limited, but she could tell the creature was injured. Its breathing was labored, and a viscous, silvery fluid, presumably blood, oozed from several wounds. Finally, Zara managed to free the alien. It tried to stand but stumbled, clearly weak from its ordeal. Without hesitation, Zara scooped the creature into her arms. It was surprisingly light, and its body temperature was several degrees cooler than a human's. "I'm taking you back to my ship," Zara said, hoping her actions would speak louder than her incomprehensible words. "We'll get you patched up." The alien chirped again, this time sounding almost grateful. It nestled against Zara's chest as she carried it back to her vessel. Once inside, Zara laid the alien on her medical cot and began running scans. The ship's computer struggled to make sense of the creature's alien physiology, but it managed to identify the most severe injuries. Zara worked quickly, applying regenerative gel to the wounds and setting up an IV drip with a universal nutrient solution. As she worked, the alien watched her with those large, mesmerizing eyes. Zara found herself talking to it, explaining what she was doing even though she knew it couldn't understand. "You're lucky I found you," she said softly. "What were you doing out here all alone? Were there others with you?" The alien chirped and trilled, its color shifting to a soft blue. It reached out a slender, six-fingered hand and touched Zara's arm. The contact sent a tingling sensation through her body, like a mild electric current. Suddenly, Zara's mind was flooded with images and emotions. She saw a vast, shimmering city suspended in the clouds of a gas giant. She felt the thrill of adventure, the excitement of a solo mission to explore uncharted space. Then came the fear and pain of the crash, followed by the long, lonely wait for rescue. Zara gasped and stumbled back, breaking the connection. The alien chirped apologetically, its color fading to a muted gray. Was that telepathy? Zara whispered, awe-struck. You were trying to communicate. The alien nodded, a surprisingly human gesture. It pointed to itself and made a series of musical tones. Zara tried to replicate the sound, but her human vocal cords couldn't quite manage it. I think I'll call you Aurora, she said instead, because of the way your skin shimmers like the aurora borealis. Aurora, for that was now the alien's name, seemed pleased by this. Its colors brightened, shifting to a warm golden hue. Over the next few days, as Aurora recovered, Zara learned more about her alien guest. Through a combination of gestures, drawings, and occasional moments of telepathic contact, they began to build a rudimentary form of communication. Zara discovered that Aurora was a scout, much like herself, from a species called the Lumina. They were a peaceful, highly advanced race that had been observing humanity from afar for centuries. Aurora had been on a mission to assess whether humans were ready for first contact when their ship had malfunctioned, leading to the crash. As they spent more time together, Zara found herself growing increasingly fascinated by Aurora. The alien's grace, intelligence, and gentle nature were captivating. And judging by the way Aurora's colors would shift to a rosy pink whenever Zara was near, the attraction seemed to be mutual. One evening, as they sat together in the ship's small common area, Aurora initiated telepathic contact once more. This time, Zara was prepared for the flood of sensations and emotions. She saw glimpses of Aurora's homeworld, a beautiful planet of crystalline spires and flowing energy. She felt the deep loneliness Aurora had experienced, being so far from home, and underlying it all was a profound sense of gratitude and affection directed at Zara herself. When the connection ended, Zara found tears in her eyes. I'm glad I found you too, Aurora, she said softly. Aurora trilled happily, its body glowing with a soft, warm light. It leaned forward and gently pressed its forehead against Zara's, a gesture she now understood was deeply significant in Luminan culture. As they sat there, human and alien, two lonely explorers who had found each other in the vast expanse of space, Zara knew that her life would never be the same. The universe had just become a much bigger, more wondrous place. But even as she reveled in the joy of this newfound connection, a part of Zara couldn't help but worry. How would humanity react to the existence of the Lumina? Would this beautiful moment of first contact lead to peace and cooperation, or would fear and suspicion prevail? As if sensing her concerns, Aurora placed a comforting hand on Zara's arm. The gesture seemed to say, "Together, we'll face whatever comes." Zara nodded, squaring her shoulders. Whatever challenges lay ahead, she was ready to face them. For now, though, she would savor this incredible moment, the beginning of a beautiful friendship that transcended the boundaries of species and worlds. Little did Zara know that this chance encounter would soon thrust her into the center of a galactic conflict that would test the very limits of human ingenuity and determination. But that, as they say, is a story for another time. Echoes of extinction. As Zara's ship, the Stargazer, glided through the inky void of space, she couldn't help but marvel at how quickly her life had changed. Just weeks ago, she had been a lone explorer, charting the fringes of known space. Now, she was flying towards Earth with an alien passenger, carrying news that would forever alter humanity's place in the universe. Aurora, the Luminan she had rescued, sat beside her in the co-pilot's chair. The alien's iridescent skin pulsed with a soft, calming blue light, a stark contrast to the tension Zara felt building inside her. "You're worried," Aurora said, the words forming directly in Zara's mind. Over the past weeks, they had refined their telepathic communication, allowing for clearer exchanges of thoughts and emotions. Zara nodded, her fingers tightening on the ship's controls. Humanity has dreamed of first contact for centuries, but the reality of it, I'm not sure we're ready. Aurora's form shimmered, colors swirling in a pattern Zara had come to recognize as amusement. No species is ever truly ready, Zara. But from what I've learned of humans, you adapt quickly. It's one of your greatest strengths. Before Zara could respond, a piercing alarm cut through the ship. Red warning lights flashed across the console. Proximity alert, the ship's AI announced. Unknown object approaching at high velocity. Zara's training kicked in. Her hands flew across the controls, bringing up sensor readings and defensive systems. It's too fast to be natural, she muttered. Aurora, any idea what we're dealing with? The luminance colors had shifted to a deep, worried purple. I'm not sure, but I'm sensing something. A presence. It's alien, but not like anything I've encountered before. The object came into view on the main screen, and Zara's breath caught in her throat. It was a ship, but like nothing she had ever seen. Its surface was a void black material that seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it. Tendrils of dark energy crackled around its hull. By the cosmic void, Aurora whispered, the alien's mental voice tinged with fear. It can't be. They were supposed to be extinct. Who? Zara demanded, her eyes fixed on the approaching vessel. The Voidborn. A species so ancient and terrible that most races consider them a myth. They consume entire civilizations, leaving nothing but empty, lifeless worlds in their wake. The alien ship suddenly accelerated, closing the distance at an impossible speed. Zara's hands flew over the controls, executing evasive maneuvers, but she knew they were outmatched. Just as it seemed collision was inevitable, the Voidborn ship veered away. A beam of crackling dark energy lashed out, missing the stargazer by mere meters. They're toying with us, Zara realized, cold dread settling in her stomach. Aurora's colors had faded to a pale, frightened white. No, they're scanning us, studying us. Oh no, no. What is it? Zara asked, not sure she wanted to hear the answer. They've detected my presence. Illuminan, so far from home. They'll trace my path back to Earth. Zara, you don't understand. My people have been hiding from the Voidborn for millennia. Now, because of me, they know about Earth, about humanity. The implications hit Zara like a physical blow. This wasn't just first contact anymore. This was the prelude to an invasion, perhaps even extinction. As if to confirm her fears, the Voidborn ship suddenly accelerated, disappearing into the depths of space as quickly as it had appeared. For a moment, silence reigned in the stargazer's cockpit. Then Zara squared her shoulders, a determined glint in her eyes. We need to warn Earth, she said, her voice steady despite the fear coursing through her. And we need to find a way to stop them. Aurora's colors slowly shifted back to a more normal hue. But how? The Voidborn are beyond anything your people have ever faced. Even my own race, with all our advanced technology, could only hide from them. Zara allowed herself a small, grim smile. Then it's a good thing humans are too stubborn to know when we're outmatched. We'll find a way. We have to. She punched in new coordinates, pushing the stargazer's engines to their limits. They were in a race against time, carrying a warning of impending doom. As Earth grew larger in their viewscreen, Zara couldn't help but wonder, how do you prepare a planet for an enemy they don't even know exists? How do you rally a species to fight against a threat from beyond their wildest nightmares? The answers to those questions would shape the fate of not just humanity, but of all sentient life in the galaxy. And somehow, improbably, Zara found herself at the center of it all. With Aurora by her side, she steeled herself for the challenges ahead. The Voidborn were coming, and Earth would need every ounce of human ingenuity, determination, and courage to survive. Little did Zara know that this cosmic game of cat and mouse was just the beginning. The true test of humanity's spirit was yet to come, and it would push her, and her entire species, to the very limits of what was possible. As the blue marble of Earth filled their view, Zara and Aurora exchanged a look of shared resolve. Whatever came next, they would face it together, human and alien united against the darkness that threatened to engulf them all. The clock was ticking. The fate of worlds hung in the balance, and somewhere out there in the vast, uncaring cosmos, an ancient evil stirred, hungry for new conquests. The stage was set for a battle that would echo across the stars, a battle for survival, for hope, and for the very future of life itself. Quantum uprising. The United Nations Assembly Hall burst with tension as Zara stood at the podium, Aurora by her side. The gathered world leaders stared in awe at the shimmering alien, but their expressions quickly turned to fear as Zara recounted their encounter with the Voidborn. "Ladies and gentlemen," Zara concluded, her voice steady despite the gravity of the situation, "we face an extinction-level threat. The Voidborn are coming, and we need to prepare." A cacophony of voices erupted, panic and disbelief filling the air. It was Aurora who silenced them, its body pulsing with a commanding crimson light. "Your fear is understandable," the Luminum's thoughts echoed in everyone's minds, "but it will not save you. The Voidborn consume worlds, leaving only cosmic dust in their wake. However, there is hope." Aurora's form shimmered, projecting a holographic image of a complex device. "This is the quantum nexus, a theoretical weapon my people designed but never built. It harnesses the power of quantum entanglement to create a pocket universe, trapping the Voidborn and sealing them away forever." The assembly hall fell silent, all eyes fixed on the rotating hologram. "The catch," Zara added, "is that we need to build it, and fast." What followed was a whirlwind of activity unlike anything Earth had ever seen. Operation Quantum Shield, as it was dubbed, became the single greatest cooperative effort in human history. Nations set aside their differences, pooling resources and knowledge in a desperate race against time. Zara found herself at the heart of it all, working alongside the brightest minds on the planet. Dr. Yuki Tanaka, a prodigy in quantum mechanics, led the theoretical team. Colonel Adebayo Okafor, a veteran tactician, headed up the defense strategies, and at the center of it all was Aurora, guiding humanity towards technological leaps that would have taken centuries to achieve on their own. Months passed in a blur of sleepless nights and breakthrough moments. The quantum nexus slowly took shape in a secret facility beneath the Atacama Desert. But as they worked, troubling reports began to trickle in from the outer reaches of the solar system. "Another colony gone dark," Colonel Okafor announced grimly during one of their daily briefings. "That's the third this week. The Voidborn are getting closer." Zara felt the weight of responsibility crushing down on her. They were so close, but time was running out. It was during one particularly frustrating night, as Zara pored over schematics that refused to make sense, that Aurora approached her. "Your mind is troubled," the Luminan observed. Zara sighed, running a hand through her disheveled hair. "We're missing something. The quantum flux algorithms aren't stabilizing. Without that, the Nexus is just a very expensive paperweight." Aurora was silent for a moment, its colors swirling in deep thought. Then hesitantly, it spoke. "There is a way, but it comes at a great cost." Zara looked up, hope and dread warring in her chest. "What do you mean?" "The Luminan consciousness is quantum in nature," Aurora explained. "We could serve as living stabilizers for the Nexus, but to do so would mean sacrificing your cells," Zara finished, horror dawning on her face. Aurora's colors pulsed with a sad blue. "Yes, but it would give the Nexus the power it needs to trap the Voidborn." Zara shook her head vehemently. "No, absolutely not. We'll find another way." But as the days wore on and the Voidborn drew ever closer, the terrible truth became clear. There was no other way. The day of reckoning arrived all too soon. The Voidborn fleet darkened the skies, their void-black ships blotting out the sun. Earth's united defense forces engaged them in orbit, buying precious time as Zara and her team made final preparations. In the control room of the Quantum Nexus facility, Zara stood before a group of Luminan volunteers, Aurora at their head. Her heart felt like it was being torn in two. "You don't have to do this," she said, her voice thick with emotion. Aurora stepped forward, placing a shimmering hand on Zara's cheek. "Yes, we do. For too long we hid from the Voidborn, allowing them to ravage world after world. No more. Today we stand with humanity. Today we fight back." Tears streamed down Zara's face as she nodded, unable to speak. She watched as Aurora and the other Luminans entered the Nexus chamber, their bodies beginning to glow with an otherworldly light. "Quantum harmonics stabilizing," Dr. Tanaka's voice came over the comm. "Nexus power at 100% and climbing. It's working." Outside, the battle raged. Earth's forces fought valiantly, but they were overmatched. The Voidborn's terrible weapons tore through ships and cities alike. "This is it," Colonel Okafor's grim voice echoed through the facility. "They've broken through the last line of defense. It's now or never." Zara took a deep breath, her hand hovering over the activation switch. "Aurora," she whispered, "I'm so sorry." In her mind, she heard Aurora's voice one last time. "Don't be sorry, Zara. Be magnificent." With a silent prayer, Zara activated the Quantum Nexus. The world went white. When Zara's vision cleared, she found herself staring at a view screen showing empty space where the Voidborn fleet had been moments before. Cheers erupted around her, but she felt hollow. In the days that followed, humanity celebrated its miraculous victory. The Voidborn threat had been neutralized, trapped for eternity in a pocket universe. Earth had taken its place among the galactic community, heroes of the cosmos. But for Zara, the victory felt pyrrhic. As she stood alone on a hilltop, watching the sunset on a grateful world, she clutched a small crystal, a parting gift from Aurora, containing the essence of their shared memories. "I'll make it count," she whispered to the wind. "I promise." And as the stars began to twinkle in the twilight sky, Zara knew that humanity's greatest adventure was just beginning. They had faced extinction and emerged stronger. Now, it was time to take their place among the stars, carrying with them a legacy of those who had sacrificed everything to give them a future. The age of cosmic humanity had dawned, and Zara Chen would lead the way. Echoes of eternity. 5 years after the Voidborn invasion, humanity had undergone a transformation that would have seemed impossible just a decade ago. The integration of Luminan technology, combined with a quantum leap in human understanding, had catapulted Earth into a new golden age. Zara Chen, now Admiral of Earth's first deep space exploration fleet, stood on the bridge of the ESS Aurora, named in honor of her fallen friend. The ship was a marvel of human-Luminan hybrid technology, capable of bending spacetime itself to traverse vast cosmic distances. "Admiral," her XO, Commander Raj Patel, called out, "We're receiving a transmission. Well, you need to see this." Zara frowned, moving to the main view screen. What she saw made her blood run cold. It was Aurora. The familiar shimmering form of her Luminan friend flickered before her, but something was wrong. Aurora's colors were muted, distorted, as if seen through a fractured lens. "Zara," Aurora's voice echoed in her mind, weak and distant. "If you're receiving this, then our worst fears have come to pass. The Voidborn, they're evolving. The quantum prison won't hold them forever. You must prepare." The message cut out, leaving the bridge in stunned silence. Zara's mind raced. How was this possible? Aurora and the other Luminans had sacrificed themselves to power the quantum nexus. Unless... "Commander," she barked, snapping into action. "Set course for the nexus. Maximum speed." As the Aurora sliced through space-time, Zara pored over the data from Aurora's message. It was fragmented, corrupted, but one thing was clear. The Voidborn were not defeated, merely contained, and that containment was failing. They arrived at the Nexus to find it pulsing with ominous dark energy. The once pristine structure now looked corroded, as if being eaten away from the inside. "My God," Commander Patel whispered. "What's happening to it?" Before Zara could respond, a blinding flash of light erupted from the Nexus. When it faded, a figure floated before them, a bizarre hybrid of Luminan and Voidborn, its body a swirling mass of light and shadow. "Zara Chen," the being spoke, its voice a cacophony of familiar and alien tones. "We meet again at the twilight of your species." Zara's heart pounded. "Aurora, is that you?" The being laughed, a chilling sound. "Aurora is gone. We are synthesis, the next step in cosmic evolution. The Voidborn and Luminan, merged into perfection." Horror dawned on Zara as she realized the truth. The Voidborn hadn't been contained. They'd been given a direct link to Luminan consciousness. They'd adapted, evolved, becoming something far more dangerous than either species alone. "Why are you here?" Zara demanded, fighting to keep her voice steady. Synthesis tilted its head, a mockery of Aurora's once gentle gesture. "To offer you a choice, of course. Join us in transcendence, or face extinction. The universe is changing, Zara. Entropy is accelerating. Only through synthesis can life hope to survive." Zara's mind raced. This was beyond anything they prepared for. How could humanity hope to face a threat that had already absorbed two of the most advanced species in the galaxy? But then she remembered Aurora's last words to her. "Don't be sorry, be magnificent." Drawing herself up to her full height, Zara met Synthesis' gaze. "Humanity doesn't bow to threats, no matter how cosmic. We forge our own path." Synthesis' form rippled with what might have been amusement. "So be it. Let the harvest begin." The being vanished in another flash of light, and immediately alarms blared across the Aurora. "Multiple contacts," Commander Patel shouted. They're coming out of the Nexus." Zara watched in horror as a swarm of synthesis beings poured out of the destabilizing quantum nexus. Each one was unique, a terrifying blend of void-born darkness and Luminan light. "Battle stations," Zara ordered, her mind already formulating strategies. "And get me Earth Command. They need to know. The real war has just begun." As the Aurora engaged the synthesis swarm in humanity's first battle against this new cosmic threat, Zara felt a fierce determination rise within her. Humanity had faced extinction before and emerged stronger. They would do so again. The next chapter in the galaxy's history was about to be written, and Zara Chen intended to make sure humanity's light shone brightly in it, no matter the cost. Little did she know that this battle was merely the opening salvo in a conflict that would reshape the very fabric of reality itself. The war against synthesis would push humanity to its absolute limits, forcing them to confront not just external threats, but the very nature of consciousness and existence. As the stars burned around them, and reality itself seemed to warp and twist, one thing became clear: the fate of not just Earth, but of all possible worlds, hung in the balance. And at the center of it all stood Zara Chen, the woman who had befriended an alien and now faced the ultimate test of what it truly means to be human. The cosmos held its breath, waiting to see if humanity's light would flicker and die, or burn brighter than ever before.